This free step-by-step video comes to you directly from Haynes, creators of the world's best repair manuals. Fix your car or truck the right way with our accurate and reliable information at your side. You can complete more than 200 jobs on this vehicle when you purchase the complete online manual at Haynes.com.
Fuel pump replacement. Unplug the fuel pump drive module electrical connector, mounted on the rear crossmember. Start the engine and allow it to run until it stops. This should only take a few seconds. Disconnecting the negative battery cable. Loosen the negative cable clamp nut, then disconnect the cable from the negative terminal of the battery and secure it out of the way to prevent accidental reconnection. Apply the handbrake. Chock the rear wheels to prevent the vehicle from rolling. Place a floor jack under the frame rail, raise the front of the truck, then support it with a jack stand placed under the frame rail in front of the floor jack. Disconnect the fuel supply line and EVAP vapor line quick connect fittings at the front of the fuel tank. Soak up any residual fuel spillage with shop rags. Working on top of the fuel tank, disconnect the sensor electrical connectors and unclip the wiring harness from the vapor tubes. Pull out the safety clip, then disconnect the fuel tank filler hose vent tube quick connect fitting from the top of the fuel pump module. Slide out the safety tab, then disconnect the pump module electrical connector. Disconnect the remaining EVAP sensor connector on top of the tank. Support the fuel tank with a suitable lifting and lowering device. 2 floor jacks can also be used. Be sure to place shop rags between the heads of the lifting device and tank to avoid damage. Remove the fuel tank strap bolts, then swing the straps out of the way. Loosen the hose clamp and disconnect the fuel filler tube from the filler pipe. It may be difficult to grasp the filler tube. Spraying some aerosol penetrating lubricant onto the connection and carefully breaking the seal loose with a screwdriver may help with disconnection. With the help of an assistant, carefully and slowly lower the fuel tank while keeping it balanced. Also, double check to make sure you have disconnected all connections before lowering it any further. Blow off the area on top of the pump module with the compressed air to get rid of all of the debris. Disconnect the fuel line connections from the top of the pump module. Have shop rags handy to soak up any residual fuel leakage. Remove the fuel pump assembly from the fuel tank by turning the locking ring counterclockwise until it's loose. A special tool designed for this purpose is available, but a pair of large pliers or hammer and brass punch will work. Lift the fuel pump module up enough to disconnect the vent line quick connect fitting, then carefully angle the pump module as necessary while draining out the gasoline to allow for removal. Be careful not to bend the float arm. Remove the old O-ring and clean the O-ring surface. While the tank is exposed, it is a good idea to lay some shop rags over the opening to minimize fumes and other safety hazards. Install a new O-ring onto the tank. Being careful not to bend the float arm, install the pump module into the tank and connect the vent line quick connect fitting. Align the outer locating tab correctly. Install the locking ring. Tighten the locking ring completely by using the same method as when it was removed, turning it in a clockwise direction. Connect the fuel line EVAP and supply fittings to the pump. With the help of an assistant, carefully raise the fuel tank into place. Connect the filler tube to the pipe and tighten the hose clamp securely. Install the fuel tank strap to the pivot location, then swing the other end up and install the mounting bolt. Repeat this for the opposite strap. Once the tank is held up securely, remove the lifting device or devices. Tighten the fuel tank strap bolts securely. Connect the various electrical and fuel line connections to the areas on top of the pump module and tank. Secure the connections with their locking tabs, where equipped, and attach the wiring harnesses with their clips. Connect the fuel supply line and EVAP vapor line quick connect fittings at the front of the fuel tank. Secure the supply line with the locking tab and clip the lines together. To pressurize the fuel system, connect the fuel pump driver module electrical connector. Lower the front of the truck to the ground. Release the handbrake. Reconnecting the negative battery cable. Connect the cable to the negative terminal of the battery, then tighten the cable clamp nut securely.